To understand unity with nature is to realize that the separation we perceive between ourselves and the natural world is an illusion. The trees, the rivers, the mountains, and the sky, they are not simply objects for us to observe or exploit. They are extensions of the same life force that animates us. Just as the waves are not separate from the ocean but expressions of its movement, we too are expressions of its movement. We too are expressions of the Earth's vitality. This unity becomes clear when we look at our breath, the most fundamental act of life. The air we inhale was once inside the lungs of ancient forests, carried by the wind and shared with countless other beings. Every breath connects us to the world around us, dissolving the boundaries we imagine between self and other. The wild, in its unrestrained form, operates with a wisdom beyond human comprehension. A forest grows without a blueprint, its creatures live without calendars, and yet everything unfolds in perfect harmony. When we align ourselves with this natural rhythm, we begin to see that we are not intruders in the wilderness, but participants in its flow. Even in its quiet moments, nature speaks of interconnectedness. The falling of a single leaf nourishes the soil, which in turn sustains new life. This cycle of give and take mirrors our own lives, reminding us that our actions ripple outward, influencing the world in ways both seen and unseen. To be united with nature is to recognize that its essence is our essence. It is not merely about observing its beauty, but embodying its flow, feeling the pulse of the earth as our own heartbeat. Effortless action, Wu Wei. Effortless action, or Wu Wei, is not the absence of action, but the art of aligning with the natural flow of life. It is the understanding that true power comes not from force, but from harmony, not from control, but from cooperation with the rhythms of existence. Wu Wei is the river carving through rock, not by hammering against it, but by patiently flowing, adapting, and finding the path of least resistance. In human life, we often confuse striving with achievement, mistaking busyness for progress. Wu Wei challenges this notion by inviting us to act with grace, to move with the currents of life rather than against them. It is a state of being where action arises spontaneously, effortlessly, and effectively, not because it is forced, but because it is attuned to the moment. Nature offers countless examples of Wu Wei. The bird in flight does not struggle against the air, it rides the wind, its wings moving in harmony with invisible currents. The tree does not strain to grow, it simply reaches for the sun, nourished by the soil and rain. Even the seasons change without effort, each giving way to the next in an eternal dance of balance and renewal. To practice Wu Wei is to cultivate a deep sensitivity to the world around us, to listen to its cues and respond without resistance or overthinking. It is the musician improvising in perfect sync with the melody, the athlete who moves with instinct rather than calculation, the poet whose words flow effortlessly from the heart. It is not the suppression of effort, but the transformation of effort into ease. When we embrace Wu Wei, we learn to trust the wisdom of the moment. We let go of the need to control outcomes and instead become vessels through which life's natural intelligence flows. This is not passivity, but a dynamic state of participation, where we act decisively yet without strain, where our efforts feel as natural as the falling of rain or the blooming of flowers. Impermanence. Impermanence is the truth that all things are in constant motion, ever changing and evolving, like clouds drifting across the sky or waves crashing on the shore. Nothing in life is fixed or permanent. Even the most solid mountains will eventually crumble, and the deepest rivers will change their course. This ceaseless transformation is not a flaw, but the very nature of existence, a reminder that life is a dance of beginnings and endings. And to grasp impermanence is to see that clinging to what is fleeting only brings suffering. The moments we cherish, the people we love, and the identities we hold dear are all part of a transient flow. Yet this transience does not diminish their value, it enhances it. Like a sunset fading into twilight, the beauty of life is inseparable from its fleeting nature. Nature embodies impermanence with quiet wisdom. The leaves fall in autumn, not out of despair, but to make way for new growth in spring. A caterpillar transforms into a butterfly, leaving behind its old form without regret. Even the stars above, seemingly eternal, burn brightly only for a time before they too fade into the vastness of space. When we resist impermanence, we trap ourselves in a futile struggle to hold on to what cannot be held. But when we embrace it, we find freedom and liberation from the illusion of permanence that allows us to fully inhabit the present moment. Impermanence teaches us to appreciate the here and now, to savor the fleeting joys and even the sorrows, knowing that they are part of life's ever-turning wheel. It is in accepting impermanence that we discover the profound resilience of life. Though forms dissolve, the essence of life continues, transforming and re-emerging in countless ways. Just as the river is never the same yet always flows, life persists, not as a fixed entity, but as an unfolding process of endless renewal. Inner stillness. Inner stillness is not the absence of movement or sound, but the profound calm that resides at the center of all existence. It is the quiet space within us that remains untouched by the chaos of the world, like the depths of the ocean undisturbed by surface storms. This stillness is not something we create, it is something we uncover when we let go of the noise, distractions, and ceaseless chatter of the mind. In the wild, inner stillness reveals itself effortlessly. The silent expanse of a desert, the steady rhythm of waves lapping against the shore, or the gentle rustling of leaves in the forest all remind us of the peace that is always available when we align with the present moment. These moments of stillness are not separate from life's activity, but exist as its foundation, a timeless pause beneath the ever-changing flow. Inner stillness is not about retreating from the world, but about finding peace amidst its movements. It allows us to witness life as it unfolds without being swept away by its turbulence. Like the eye of a hurricane, it is a state of equilibrium where we can observe our thoughts, emotions, and experiences with clarity, free from the need to react or resist. When we touch this stillness, we become like a tree deeply rooted in the earth. The winds of life may shake our branches, but our center remains grounded and unshaken. From this place of inner calm, we respond to life not from fear or impulse, but from wisdom and presence. The path to inner stillness is not one of force or suppression, but of allowing. It is a gentle turning inward, a surrender to the natural rhythm of the breath, the heartbeat, and the quiet awareness that exists behind all experience. It is found in the spaces between our thoughts, the pauses in our conversations, and the simple act of being rather than doing. And the illusion of control. The illusion of control is the belief that we can dictate the course of life, shaping it to fit our desires and expectations. It is a comforting notion, one that gives us a sense of power and certainty in an unpredictable world. Yet, like trying to hold water in our hands, the harder we grasp, the more life slips through our fingers. Control in its purest form is a mirage, a construct of the mind that crumbles in the face of reality's vast, untamed forces. Nature itself dismantles this illusion with quiet authority. The wind blows where it will, heedless of human plans. Rivers carve their paths over millennia, indifferent to the boundaries we draw. Even our own bodies, which we presume to command, operate according to rhythms and processes far beyond our conscious control. The beating of our hearts, the healing of wounds, the very act of breathing, these occur not by will, but by the wisdom of life itself. The more we cling to control, the more we find ourselves at odds with the natural flow of existence. Like a sailor trying to command the ocean's waves, we exhaust ourselves in the struggle, failing to see that true mastery lies not in domination, but in alignment. To let go of control is not to surrender to chaos, but to trust in the inherent order of life, an order that reveals itself when we stop resisting. In human relationships, the illusion of control manifests as the desire to dictate outcomes, what others should think, feel, or do. Yet, just as we cannot command the rain to fall, we cannot force the hearts of others. True connection arises not from control, but from presence, from meeting life as it is rather than as we wish it to be. Even the mind, with its endless stream of thoughts and plans, cannot be tamed through sheer force of will. Attempts to quiet it often lead to frustration, for the mind is like a restless river, it flows where it must. Yet when we step back and observe rather than intervene, we find that its currents settle on their own, revealing a deeper clarity beneath the surface. The illusion of control thrives on fear of uncertainty, of change, of the unknown. But life is inherently uncertain, a constant unfolding of the unexpected. By relinquishing the need to control, we open ourselves to the full spectrum of experience, discovering that there is a profound strength in flexibility, a wisdom in surrender. Life, like the wild, cannot be tamed or predicted, but it can be trusted, for it flows according to a rhythm far greater than our own, and the interconnected web. The interconnected web is the profound truth that nothing in existence stands alone. Every being, every action, and every moment is woven into the vast tapestry of life, each thread influencing and sustaining the others. This web is not merely a metaphor, it is the reality of existence, where the boundaries we perceive between ourselves and the world dissolve upon closer examination. Nature is the most eloquent teacher of this truth. A tree does not grow in isolation, its roots intertwine with the soil, drawing nutrients that come from decayed leaves and fallen creatures. The rain that nourishes it originates from distant oceans, carried by winds shaped by global patterns. Even its very breath, the oxygen it releases, sustains countless other forms of life. In this intricate exchange, there is no separation, only connection. Human beings, too, are threads in this grand design. The air we breathe has been exhaled by forests and shared by countless creatures. The food we eat depends on the earth, the sun, and the labor of unseen hands. Even our thoughts and emotions ripple outward, influencing those around us in ways we may never fully understand. This interconnectedness is not a concept we must strive to attain. It is the foundation of our existence, always present and inescapable. The interconnected web also reveals itself in the seemingly small and mundane. A single drop of water, when it falls into a pond, sends ripples outward, touching every corner of the surface. Likewise, our actions, however insignificant they may seem, carry consequences that extend far beyond our immediate perception. A kind word can inspire hope, just as a careless one can sow discord. The web ensures that nothing exists in isolation, everything is part of a larger whole. In the wild, this web is particularly evident. The predator depends on the prey on the grass on the sun. The cycle of life and death is not a series of isolated events, but a continuous process where each part sustains the others. Even decay, often seen as an end, is a beginning, a return of energy to the system, fueling new growth and life. To see the interconnected web is to realize that our individual existence is not separate from the world around us, but deeply enmeshed within it. It is a recognition that we are both unique expressions of life and integral parts of something far greater. This awareness invites us to move through the world with humility and reverence, understanding that our actions and choices are never truly our own, but part of the collective unfolding of existence. Listening to silence. Listening to silence is an invitation to tune into the spaces between sounds, the pauses that often go unnoticed in the noise of daily life. It is in these quiet intervals that life's deeper truths are revealed, not through words or explanations, but through presence and stillness. Silence is not emptiness, it is rich with possibility, a canvas on which the essence of existence is painted. In nature, silence speaks volumes. The stillness of a forest at dawn, broken only by the faint rustle of leaves, carries a serenity that words cannot capture. The vast, quiet expanse of a desert hums with an unspoken wisdom, a reminder of the timelessness that underlies the ever-changing world. Even the silence of the night sky, adorned with stars, evokes a profound connection to the infinite. Silence is the space that allows sound to have meaning. Just as music is defined by the rests as much as by the notes, life is shaped by its quiet moments as much as by its activity. These pauses are where reflection, understanding, and insight emerge. They are the moments when we are most attuned to ourselves and the world, free from the distractions of constant noise. To listen to silence is to move beyond the chatter of the mind, which constantly seeks to fill the void with thoughts, judgments, and plans. Silence allows us to step back, to observe rather than react, and to hear the subtler rhythms of life. It is in this space that intuition arises, that we sense the interconnected flow of existence, unclouded by the noise of ego and expectation. Silence also connects us to others in a way that words cannot. In shared silence there is a communion deeper than conversation, an unspoken understanding that transcends language. It is in these quiet moments that we truly see and feel the presence of another, not as a concept, but as a being, alive and interconnected with us. In listening to silence, we are reminded of its paradoxical nature. It is both empty and full, both absence and presence. It is the background against which all of life's expressions unfold, holding everything. In human life, simplicity invites us to let go of the pursuit of status, the need for validation, and the constant striving for more. When we embrace simplicity, we realize that happiness does not come from acquiring things or achieving goals, but from the freedom to be content with what is. It is about finding peace in the ordinary, in the small moments of life, and in the connection we share with others and with the world around us. Simplicity also brings clarity to the mind. When we free ourselves from mental clutter, the constant flow of thoughts, expectations, and distractions, we make space for deeper insight and understanding. In silence and stillness, the mind returns to its natural state of calm, allowing us to see the world without the distortion of unnecessary complexity. In this state, we are able to move with intention and purpose, guided by what truly matters, rather than what we think should matter. To embrace simplicity is to step away from the endless chase for more and to find contentment in less. It is to recognize that the world is already full of beauty, and that we need not complicate our experience to appreciate it fully. Through simplicity, we discover that life's most profound joys are often found in its most basic expressions. The power of surrender. The power of surrender is not the act of giving up or resigning to fate, but the profound strength that comes from letting go of the need to control every aspect of life. It is a deep trust in the natural flow of existence, a willingness to release our grip on outcomes and allow the universe to unfold as it will. Surrender is not passivity, it is an active choice to align with the rhythms of life rather than resist them. to accept what is, rather than battle against it. In nature, surrender is a constant force. The river surrenders to the contours of the land, flowing effortlessly around rocks and bends, not forcing its way but moving with grace and fluidity. The tree surrenders to the wind, allowing its branches to sway without breaking, rooted firmly in the earth but flexible in its movement. Even the seasons surrender to the cycles of time, each flowing into the next, accepting the inevitability of change without fear. To surrender is to release the illusion of control. It is an acknowledgement that we cannot predict or dictate the course of life, but we can choose how we respond to it. In surrender, there is freedom from the constant pressure to make things happen, to force life into a specific shape. It is the recognition that we do not need to carry the weight of the world on our shoulders, for there is a larger force at work, a universal intelligence that guides all things. The power of surrender lies in its ability to bring us into alignment with the present moment. When we surrender, we stop struggling against what is and begin to see life as it truly is, not as we wish it to be. This shift in perspective allows us to move through the world with greater ease, to accept challenges with grace, and to meet each moment with an open heart and mind. Surrender also fosters a deep sense of peace. When we let go of the need to control, we free ourselves from anxiety, fear, and frustration. There is no longer a need to worry about what could happen or lament what has already passed. We trust that, just as the seasons change, life will unfold as it is meant to, and we will be exactly where we need to be. In this trust we find stillness, a calmness that transcends external circumstances. In human life, surrender is not about inaction, but about acting from a place of clarity and acceptance. It is about recognizing when to exert effort and when to step back, when to push forward and when to allow space for things to evolve. The wisdom of surrender is knowing that sometimes the greatest power lies in non-resistance, in stepping aside and letting things take their natural course. Through surrender, we also discover a deeper connection to ourselves and to the world around us. By releasing our need for control, we open ourselves to the flow of life, to the spontaneous unfolding of moments and experiences. Surrender invites us to trust in the inherent intelligence of the universe, knowing that every step, even those that seem uncertain or challenging, is part of a greater journey. Awakening wonder. Awakening wonder is the process of reconnecting with the profound beauty and mystery that surrounds us at every moment. It is a return to the state of childlike awe, where the ordinary becomes extraordinary, and every experience, no matter how small, holds the potential for deep revelation. Wonder is not something we seek outside of ourselves, but something that resides within, waiting to be recognized in the simplest acts of living. In nature, wonder is everywhere. The sunrise, though it rises every day, never fails to inspire awe, its colors shifting in infinite variations, each moment unique. The vastness of the ocean, its waves crashing with timeless rhythm, invites us to contemplate the mysteries of the deep. Even the quiet growth of a plant, reaching toward the sun, reveals a beauty in its simplicity. These moments are not rare or extraordinary, yet they hold within them an endless capacity to astonish if we open our eyes to them. To awaken wonder is to see the world through a different lens, one that is not clouded by expectation, routine, or familiarity. It is to approach life as if it is new, as if each day is a fresh beginning, filled with infinite possibilities. In doing so, we begin to see the miraculous in the mundane. A breeze rustling through leaves, the texture of a stone, the sound of a bird's call, these things, which we often overlook, become windows into a greater mystery. Wonder is a state of presence. It arises when we stop trying to control or categorize our experience and instead simply allow ourselves to be fully immersed in it. When we stop labeling and analyzing, we create space for the mystery of life to unfold. This allows us to experience the world not as something we understand, but as something we experience in its fullest expression. In the human experience, awakening wonder brings a sense of reverence and humility. It is a recognition that we are part of something much larger than ourselves, a vast, interconnected web of life that is full of endless surprises. This awareness opens us up to the richness of existence, to the miracles that lie hidden in every moment, from the laughter of a friend to the stillness of a quiet evening. Awakening wonder also invites us to embrace uncertainty, for wonder thrives in the unknown. It is the curiosity that arises when we encounter something unfamiliar, when we step into the mystery rather than shy away from it. In this way, wonder is not a static feeling but a dynamic force, one that encourages exploration, growth, and discovery. Through wonder, we rediscover the sacredness of life. The world is not just a collection of facts, tasks, and goals. It is a living, breathing miracle, constantly unfolding in ways we can never fully understand. Wonder reminds us that there is beauty beyond what we can see, a depth beneath the surface of things, a magic that exists when we open our hearts to the present moment. In embracing the wildness of life, we reconnect with its inherent flow, realizing that nature